just then, I don't remember what happened last time. Where did we just leave off? Sorry. Oh my god, my allergies. Butt spray. Oh, wait, I feel like we had this rant like last episode or 2 episodes ago. We won't go on it then. Welcome back to some more Higurashi. Last time, I know, Tomoe. What happened? Oh yeah, Nagisa died. Yeah, that's a pretty big event. She did die. Apparently from suicide. She was lying on the road and got run over by a truck. And they're suspecting that she was alive when that happened, though you can't rule out the possibility that someone made it look like a suicide. I'm still leaning towards she actually killed herself, though, sadly. And Tomoe had a fight with Division 2, which was pretty intense. Where did we leave off, though? I know that she was thinking about Rena. Obviously, this is a fucking cliffhanger, so let's just click and maybe it'll click in my brain. Just then, we got someone's taking our picture. Madonka? Oh yeah, we're in a hospital bed. Oh, we're in the Erie clinic! Wait, no, we're not in the Erie clinic. I'm dumb. that happened way too long ago. Never mind. Right. Okay, now I remember. Madoka's in the hospital because she got some PTSD from the car bombing, and Tomoe was like comforting her. And they were talking about the situation and stuff. Okay, here we go. They heard the clatter of a knob turning, then a man dressed in a hospital gown emerged. His face didn't look familiar, and more importantly, there was no reason for another hospital patient to enter Madoka's private room. So what's the deal with this guy? I mean, he actually might be an assassin since they were almost assassinated like a couple days ago. Or actually, it's been like one day, right? Oh, this is a patient? But he's wearing a doctor's gown. Oh, wait, no, it's a hospital gown. Okay, never mind. That's less sus. Tomoe quickly rose to her feet and stood in front of Madoka to cover her, reaching her hand into her jacket, then grimaced. Since she was on suspension, she wasn't carrying her usual baton. Still, at this distance, with one adversary, she could handle the situation if she closed the gap. What is this guy just... He's just a guy? He suddenly donned a confused and upset expression when faced with that forceful question. Then, as if he realized something, he took a step out of the room and took a look at the room tag. Or was he? Take him out just in case. As soon as he tossed those words out, his face turned red and he slammed the door. Then footsteps could be heard running down the hallway. I think it... I mean, maybe. I don't know. It could be bullshit. Madoka lightly giggled. While staring at her sister's back, Tomoe was still standing in front of her trying to protect her. Then Madoka poked her. According to Madoka, all the hospital rooms in this building, from the 3rd to 8th floor, had the exact same layout. And not only that, but there wasn't much variety in the furniture, in the rooms, or the view out the windows, so if you weren't used to it, you could easily mistake which floor you're on after exiting the elevator. Huh? Okay. Apparently, a Mokai came to visit earlier and mistakenly barged into another room on the lower floor without even knocking. Indeed, after bringing it up, Tomoe also noticed the same thing earlier when she went to a nurse's station to borrow a fruit knife. Unfortunately, all of them were loaned out, but the nurse said she could get another if she tried, going 2 floors downstairs, but Tomoe did momentarily worry she was on the wrong floor since it had the exact same layout. Well, that seemed to be a relatively normal situation for general hospitals with a large number of patient rooms, but Tomoe wished they'd give a little more consideration for the people who actually had to use them. Fair enough. I mean, how bad is it? Is there like no just signs on the wall or whatever? Like when they said sometimes you can mess up when you step out of the elevator, there is like indicators of what floor you're on, right? I don't know. Maybe I guess especially for hospital patients. Here it comes. I feel like it's been a while since we heard that part. That's actually my favorite part. I don't know, it's so sketchy, honestly. If someone tried to bomb the car, you gotta be careful. Suddenly, Tomoe completely froze in place with her hand still hovering in the air, reaching for the last apple piece. And the next moment, she rose to her feet as though she had realized something, then began heading out of the hospital room without even noticing the chair had fallen down behind her. See, I was right. Honjo. Oh, lots of stuff happening. The timetable listing her destination pattered as she put it away. And at last, this flight she planned to board displayed a now commencing boarding status. Who the heck's Numa? I feel like we've seen that name. After drinking the rest of the wine in her paper cup, she slowly stood up and grabbed the bag from the seat next to her. Excuse me. She had already checked her suitcase and larger luggage, so her personal belongings were relatively light. What's Numa? I feel like we've seen this name before. She faintly sneered at the crowd of passengers lined up at the boarding gate. Their seats were poor, cramped economy seats. The services and accommodations were completely different from the first-class seat she would be sitting in. Dude, imagine being a real person and actually being just boarding a plane and looking at people. Imagine sitting in economy seats. I get it. I've never been in first class. It must be nice, but imagine mocking people for not. How much? Honestly, how much are your first class tickets? I mean, I don't know how far they're traveling. I guess it doesn't matter, but it's definitely a luxury. Let's just say that. Such a pity sitting with your shoulders shrunk together and having to endure it for a multiple hour-long flight. Oh my god, what a not nice person. She muttered that in her head while throwing the paper cup into a nearby trash can, then turned to face the completely empty first-class gate. Right then. Hello, Hanjo. Looking back toward the voice that suddenly cut out to her from behind, she found an elderly man in a thick coat approaching her with a pleasant smile on his face. At a quick glance, he was styled like a worn-down business manager. Yikes. However, she understood well what his occupation once was since they met once before. Is this Nagisa's mom? Or one of the Rena victims' parents? Oh! I just realized who it was. Oh my god. It's the nurse. The nurse from the hospital where the guy committed suicide. Nagisa's boyfriend. Okay. Dude, I knew we saw the name. And I didn't think it was from another arc, so I was really thinking. Holy.
茨城県警捜査一課の本庄です。
Not to be confused with Hojo. The man who addressed himself as Hanjo pulled a black notebook out of his jacket pocket and held it up to her. Oh, she's fucked, man. She's fucked. I just, the excitement of realizing who she was, like, it kind of blocked me from the situation. But yeah, she's a nurse. There's no way a nurse would be able to, I mean, maybe she would be able to afford it, but she's going to some overseas place in first class, probably paid for, so maybe it's, I mean, it's definitely implying that she probably tried to kill the boyfriend, or she's part of a conspiracy or something. Oh my god, it was Numa the whole time. I honestly thought it was suicide. That's crazy if she did something, which it's implying. Tokyo recruited her? It's just really weird. She's like making fun of people while she's a fucking nurse. Like they're not like a CEO or something. I mean, no, man, this is spicy. This is a twist I wasn't seeing coming. Never trust nurses though, right?
それまでちっとお話聞いてもらえませんか。
なんでしょうか。
いやー、大したことじゃねえんだべ。あなたにずっと確かめておきたかったことがあったんですが、今まで忘れててや。
Bro, he's getting ready to cook, man. Oh my god. Wonder how Tomoe recognized that. I thought she was running after the guy because she thought he was suspicious, but something about this conversation and thinking about the layout of the hospital must have she must have connected the dots to Hiranuma's testimony or something. It's just been a while since I've heard it, so I can't actually think of the gotcha right now.
何をですか。
いや、前にお伺いした話の繰り返しです。あなた、沢村浩平君の発見の時、最初に警察に連絡して、それから担当医の先生を呼び出した。でした。
ええ、そうですが。
味がいなかった。
Ooh.
だから、そうです。
I mean, they would have records of that, right? I feel like that would be a dumb thing to lie about when it's kind of easily confirmable. There's a hint of irritation in Hiranuma's voice as she repeated that response. What on earth was this man hoping to hear?
大体それが何か。
いやね、なんだかおかしくねえすか。
Honestly, just lay it on me. I'm not in the mental state or remember enough to try to guess what's the gotcha.
なんで8階から見下ろしただけで沢村君が転落したって分かったんです？
Hmm?
は？
I'm thinking. What's that mean?
なの当然じゃないですか。窓が開いてて、さっきまで病室にいた人が外の地面に横たわっていたら、普通そう考え
Could
る
you
のが
not
自然でしょ。
see it? So I remember this scene kind of. It's like the door was locked. Hiranuma was like, "Why's the door locked?" She opened it. She looked. The window was opened. I think she's the one who looked and streamed, or was it Nagisa? But I assume they saw the corpse from there.
ねえ、確かにその通り。
At least, yeah.
でもね、ちょっと腑に落ちないんですよ。
Okay.
だったらなんで彼を助けることを第一に考えなかったのかってね。
That is true. Like an eighth floor or an 8-story fall. You can probably survive that. Like maybe if you go head first, you won't, but it seems survivable. I get what he's saying, right? So instead of immediately calling a doctor to like check the body and heal him, she called the police that someone committed suicide first without even confirming if he's dead or not. That's the sussy part. I get it. It's not exactly like super strong though. I think like with this little hook, you don't have to roast her to get a lot more for it to like be that like bit of a deal. There might be more though. The smile on Hanjo's face vanished as she stares at Hiranuma with a piercing glare, Oishi style. That was when she noticed other men dressed in suits like detectives were standing to block the exits. Oof. Oof, oof. She was about to get away too. I feel like if you go head first, then definitely. True. If I was Hiranuma and I'm just arguing for arguing's sake, you could probably say because the girlfriend was. I mean, I guess there is really no excuse for not calling the doctors before the police first. But you can say like you're trying to comfort this the girlfriend who was probably gonna have a mental breakdown. It probably did have a mental breakdown when it happened. So. Yeah. This is a good catch. Let me know in the comments. Any commenters? I know we get the rare comment once in a while. Did you see this coming? Did you when you first went through the whole Hiranuma thing, like investigating her and stuff, talking to her? Did you think it was odd she called the police first, then the doctors, which I assume they revealed, otherwise they probably wouldn't be doing this scene, because it's supposed to be a, oh, I didn't see that sort of thing. Did you guys see it? Because I obviously didn't. The more you think about it, the more it made sense. You could call both for sure. But there's like no point of calling the police really. I mean, there kind of is because it could be a crime. But there's no world where you call the police before the emergency services. While there's a chance of him being alive, it just doesn't make sense any way you think of it. Right, yeah, and the doctor instead of the emergency staff, that's also a good point. It's a decent response. But she had the only key that can open it on the floor. I believe every like head nurse of the floor has a master key. But you could have done it. You could have killed him, came out, locked the door, and just nobody discovered the body. That's a classic, honestly. He is wording it weird. I don't know. Why is it worded like this? Obviously, it's locked. Oh! That's weird. No, just... I thought... My opinion of this, I thought he was saying that she could have killed him because she's the last person that went in and no one else went in, but that means she's the prime suspect. But I don't know what he means by this. I thought he means like maybe the door wasn't locked and then she locked it when she got there, or she locked it after she killed him. I'm assuming that it's more that. Oh. And I guess they have a key to lock it too. That's true. Yeah, someone could have just went in, killed him, locked the door. Just anyone. Just take his key. Is that how it works? He doesn't have a key though. It's just a lock, right? It's only her who has the key. Yeah, that's what she's implying. Yeah, never mind. I'm dumb. He doesn't actually have a key. He can just lock it. She has the key. Oh my god. Fucking Nagisa might be killed too? That would be crazy. So true. Bro, it's like that theory in Umineko first started when I was like, oh, you met with him, pushed him out the window, and closed the door to Natsumi. Classic. But this time, this person actually did it. Normally, I would be a little more, skeptical about this. But what adds on to it is the fact that she has a lot of money for some reason and she's doing an overseas trip. So that definitely adds to this. Sorry, have some blowing nose ASMR. You're probably used to it now. Sorry, this is not gonna happen all fucking spring. Here Numa shouted in rage and dropped her carry-on bag to the floor. Oh god. The clasp came undone and the bait split open, spilling some cosmetics and smart articles to the floor. You did have just like threw him out of the window. You didn't even, I mean, I guess you would have to confirm the kill, otherwise it would be awkward. So she probably did kill him first. It's kind of a fair point, but wasn't he like weak because he wasn't eating well? Because of the Yashiro-sama dreams? They probably killed him. Tokyo probably ordered him dead because he was showing symptoms. And they don't want that shit to like lead to the public. Well, that's true. Okay. Does he do it all the time? Did we have that information? Hiranuma caught her breath. He knew. This man knew all her machinations. Yeah, you're fucked. Okay. That was definitely the sussy part I remember, that the alarm came on just before the body was discovered. I thought there's a possibility Tokyo killed him. I never suspected Hiranuma, to be honest. I thought it was just something else, but when they showed that no one entered the room via security camera, I just assumed it was a suicide, but I didn't really think too deep on it because I assumed with the bloody marks on the window alarm, window frame, that he just died from the syndrome. So, but yeah, this is a pretty cool development. Ooh. Oh my god, read like a book. I'm sure, obviously Tomoe helped, but Hanjo's pulling it off great. As soon as he like introduced himself to her, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, this is the vibe when you know you're fucked, or the police know you're the culprit. This is smart too. I didn't really think of it like this. Right. Okay, so this is what Tomoe gained from it. Because that's right. Nagisa was confused that he was moved from the first floor to the 8th floor. Because of his change in symptoms. Whether it was good or bad, I forgot. But yeah, they did say that. And I guess Tomoe completed the puzzle when he realized. something like that could happen, and that's why he would stand up, because he didn't think the window was that much off the ground. Oh my god. Cool.
もともと彼の部屋は8階に移る1週間前までは1階でしたからね。
A week before, okay.
しかも以前に窓から逃げたことがあるためさ、外さ出るさは廊下よりも窓の方が早いと思い込んだ。そんでアッパ突破しながら窓に近づいて縁に足をかけたところで、ようやくここが8階であったことに気づく。そんで落っこちめえと両手でサッシを掴んだが、その後ろからあなたが突き飛ばし、支えきれずさそのまま落下した。
Damn.
証拠はあるのですか？
I don't think so, but
これわかりますか？
there's evidence.
冊子についた沢村君の爪の跡です。普通高層階から飛び降りようと考えるときは、
This was
左
sussy.
右か下のみに指紋と爪痕がつくもの。
Wait. Yeah, because he's just gonna let go, but it seemed like when they described the crime scene that he was struggling to keep on, and I thought the blood was more from him scratching his neck.
ところが彼の場合、右と下に爪痕がある。しかも右には抵抗した際に爪を剥がしたのが血痕も発見された。
It's honestly a great way to bait it, because obviously when you hear bloody fingernails in his Oyashiro dreams, you assume he's, you know, scratching his neck, but this was a bait. That's funny. I liked it.
そんなので探偵なんて。
あとね、彼の
Ooh, if he scratched her. That's unlucky.
その血液型は RH- の A 型。そしてあなたも確か。その手袋を取ってもらえませんか？あなたの手のどちらかに
Ooh.
沢村君と争った時にできた
Would it really still be there? I guess it would be pretty deep. Think she's gonna let a maniacal laugh?
県警まで
No shot. Oh, nope. Hiranuma hung her head, then fell to her knees. After seeing that, Hondro silently nodded to the detectives behind her. On that signal, they moved around to both sides of her. Oh, never mind the laugh. However, she actually laughed. I was joking. Suddenly, Hiranuma sneered and began laughing in a low, creepy voice. Then she looked up with her eyes open wide while still cackling. Uh-oh. Hold her? Hold her? Yes. Handcuff her, please. Oh my god. Really? Hiranuma shook her hair about and cried out in a strange voice while picking up the fruit knife that had fallen out of her carry-on bag. Excuse me? You can carry on a fruit knife on a plane? Maybe back then. I don't think you can nowadays, right? Then she swung it in all directions in an effort to intimidate the detectives. And then, noticing the gap between the detectives she managed to open with her blade, she ran toward the back window in an effort to escape. Oh my god. Then... stabbed herself. Oh. Nope. She, reeked herself. Okay. The dull, gurgling sound of an overflowing viscous liquid rained out, while a stream of bright red blood fell down to the floor. Out of nowhere, a grief-stricken scream came out, strong enough to tear through silk. The surrounding detectives all froze in horror. Even Hanjo felt the urge to vomit at the miserable sight.
ホッター救急隊に連絡蘇生器具とレスキューキット持ってください
Well, Tokyo's safe once again. I wonder if she was a professional. Because I don't think that was the virus unless she took the fucking syndrome capsule.
それで被疑者はどうなりました？
申し訳ねえ応急で救命措置を施して病院へ運び込んだが
Not a hospital, man.
ダメだった
That's where they all are. Tomoyo is so shocked, she was at a loss for words after hearing that from Hanjo over the phone. Losing control and turning to suicide wasn't out of the question. Naturally, Hanjo and the others probably felt the same way. But the men froze when they witnessed her Numa's strange, or rather completely baffling transformation. Shrieking in a weird voice and going mad with laughter, before finally piercing her throat with a knife and dying. It's really weird. I don't really get it, man. Is it like it doesn't really seem like a professional assassin. It seems like something with like a high Hinamizawa syndrome level, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. Unless she got infected too, but I don't know, man. Nobody in decent mental health would ever turn to that means, even if they intended self-harm. Was it a spasm introduced by some illness? Or was she at her wit's end after being cornered and acted in a panic? Tomoe couldn't say.
平沼陽子が何かの薬物を服用していたという話はあったのですか？
少なくとも現時点ではね勤務態度も普通で同僚や知人オラが近隣の住人の誰に聞いても信じられない一点張りだ意図的にかばってるようには見えねえな
なのになんでそんな最後を
わからんいや本当にわかんねえんだ平沼陽子がなぜ沢村浩平を殺したってどう気もわかんねえ
Did you like check how she's rich enough to get first class tickets?
それに巴ちゃんが言っていた尾崎渚の殺人事件に彼女が関与していたが全部闇の中だ家宅捜索を行ってもそれらしき証拠物件は何にもなかった完全に八方塞がりだべ
本庄さん
It was a rare occasion for Hanjo to speak as though he had given up. He always tried to search for a breakthrough that could lead to a new theory. In other words, this was the kind of incident where the culprit could never be found.
私の方でもいくつか探ってみます。また何かありましたら連絡をいただけますか？
巴ちゃん
はい。
これはオーラの勘だがこの事件の裏お前さんが思う以上に深いぞ
わかってます。
I don't think you know how deep it runs.
それが分かってねえってんだ
Hanjo said that in response to Tomoe's almost reflexive answer.
学生が殺されその犯人が自殺それだけならただの凶楽殺人か猟奇殺人だだけど今までそんな思考も異常も見られなかった人間が突然表現して人を襲いそんで自分もぶっ壊すそっただ事件今まで存在していたか
Maybe she did take the drug, or somehow it was put into her? I don't know, man.
いえ、欧米の事件記録にもそんな事例はありません。
Criminals who kill to sate curiosity always have some sort of preference or an established environment that led them to that thought. There's no chance of a person turning to aberrant behavior without that.
つけろよトメちゃんこれはお前さん一人が片手までなんとかなるような代物じゃねえその辺をよく
はい。肝に銘じます。
Then Tomoe hung up the phone.
一人で片手まではか。
That was certainly true. But two children that she knew had already fallen victim. Could she dismiss the case as being blocked on all sides, just as he said?
そうだ。
There was another incident where a person not showing any abnormalities suddenly changed and attacked a person. Even though she had convinced herself there was no such thing just a moment ago, but isn't the Reina Ryuryu case a perfect example of that?
だとしたらやっぱりあの子は。
There's a possibility that Reina Ryuryu had some connection to this series of incidents. In which case, if she investigated the girl's background a little more thoroughly, surely... Oh. Just then, the phone directly in front of her began to ring. Though she was confused for a moment by the sudden interruption, Tomoe quickly switched back to normal and picked up the receiver.
はい、もしもし。
南井次長、山沖所長がお呼びです。所長室へお越しください。
所長が？
Having received a call from the General Affairs Office, likely needing her to act as Madoka's representative in her absence, Tomoe got up and rose to her feet. And then she was never seen again. No, I'm joking. Anyways, good session. The hero Numa. I don't know, man. I was really confident in my Nagisa killed herself theory. But, now you can never be too sure. Ooh. Little tip to round out the night.
それにしてもお見事な手際でしたね。ターゲットは割と体格のいい少年でしたから、証拠も残さずどのようにして仕留めるかと思っておりましたが、まさか自分から窓を乗り越えさせるとは。
Well, here we go. So this guy, a drink, whatever. He probably gave her a drink that had the virus in it. Probably knowing that the cover is blown because they have a billion moles everywhere.
さすがは我々が見込んだだけのことはある。
And she was a professional assassin, I guess.
あまりおだてないでください。入院患者の世話を長らく務めていたおかげで、ああいった場合の行動心理が少しは理解できるようになっただけですよ。
She knew it was flattery, but it felt good regardless. After all, even she didn't expect her trip to work out so well without any help.
窓の施錠については管理責任を問われましたが、それも厳重注意程度で済みました。警察もその程度で業務上過失致死罪を突きつけてくるはずはありませんしね。
Little did she know, just a couple minutes later.
その上で管理不行き届きの責任を取って辞職とあっても誰も疑う人はいませんわ。
全くです。
It's weird, he kind of has an Erie accent. Obviously it's not Erie, but doesn't it kind of sound like Erie, but just a different voice, but like the same like cadence?
その完全犯罪の見返りは
Maybe not.
お約束通り相応のもので答えさせていただきますよ。
ありがとうございます。着いた先で通帳を開いてみるのが楽しみですわ。
Nope. For that amount of money, she had no regrets about throwing away a job she worked at for so many years. Oh, so she's not a professional. She was a nurse that just got a job to kill someone. Guess that makes sense. Being obligated to deal with hospital patients day and night without rest. Needing to handle everything perfectly and naturally. If there were any problems, the families would file complaints immediately, and in the worst cases, even leading to lawsuits. Those families would shove the duties and the care they themselves should have provided on her, and would take advantage of their positions as paying customers to put unreasonable pressure on her. Plus, it continued getting worse and worse worse year after year, slowly tearing her pride and sense of purpose as a nurse to pieces. On top of that, the number of active nurses has decreased in recent years due to cost-cutting measures. Instead of getting a weekly day off, she worked overtime every single week. And furthermore, even though she worked so hard and contributed so much, Medical Association policy limited salary reviews. Since it arrived at a time when she was already at the limit of her patience, there's no way she could resist biting at this delicious proposition. After this, she was planning to lay low in a foreign country until things cooled down, and then it would be nice to get reemployed at another hospital. Really?
でも死んだあの子の彼女には気の毒なことをしました。遠路はるばる来たというのに第一発見者にさせてしまい、別の日にしてもよかったのですが。
仕方ありません。患者はかなり正常な思考を取り戻して、しかも例の少女からいろいろと話を聞いていたようですからね。情報の漏洩を防ぐためにも必要な措置でした。もっともその前日に行う予定だった避難訓練が延期になっていなければ、ここまで回りくどいことをする必要はなかったかもしれませんが。
そうですね。
The malfunction of the fire alarm has been a last resort she thought up on the spot. She was worried about the plan wouldn't work without collaborators familiar with the mechanism, but those agents have been pros. It was true that this man smiling in front of her was full of mysteries and beyond fishy. But even so, she was promised big money and plane tickets to get out of here, so she figured she could trust him enough. They gotta investigate her. I mean, I guess she wouldn't have the money, but if she was escaping to another country, you wouldn't think she would be taking first-class tickets. It's pretty sussy, you know? Damn. And this is where she fucked up.
あいにく紙コップしかありませんが、ワインはなかなかの年代物です。
あら、これはボルドーの。初めて見ましたわ。いい匂い。
落ち着き先ではこのようなワインは山ほどご用意しておりますから。
Yeah, in hell.
まずは飲み始めということで。
ええ、いただきますわ。
Then they each held a paper cup filled to the brim in hand and lightly clapped them together. Unfortunately, it lacked the clinking sound of glass, but she thought it would be nice to savor it slowly at a restaurant in their destination. And then, after drinking the contents, her contact stood up and said that he needed to make a phone call before departure. Yikes. Classic. He held the receiver to his ear while slowly peeling the resin film from his fingertips. Well, they definitely have cameras, right? So at least he's caught. Of course, he wasn't foolish enough to throw them in the trash, so he stuffed them into his waist pocket.
そうですね。県警の捜査一課が感づいたようですから、おそらく飛行機に乗り込む前になるかと。いずれにしても大騒ぎになりますよ。激務のストレスの積み重ねで狂気を起こし、憂さ晴らしに患者を殺害。そして警察に追い詰められた末に、その枠乱を爆発させて自殺。なかなか説得力のあるシナリオだと思いませんか？
Yeah, it's not bad.
そんな言われ方は心外ですね。
Who's talking? Tatano? Is he talking to Tatano? Probably not, honestly. Probably like Nomura or something.
最後にとびっきりいいワインを飲ませてやったんですよ。死での旅には過ぎた代物だと思いますけどね。ま、
True.
せめてもの慈悲ってことで。あと例の架空口座の通帳は回収済みです。
Okay.
もっと派手に使いまくると思っていたんですけどね。引き出いやいや。金の使い方のわからない貧乏人は悲しいですね。
Damn, she should have spent it all, man.
見たこともない大金にビビっちゃったんでしょうか。それでは。
Should have hired some fucking bodyguards.
さて、そろそろかな。
Oh, just then, a large crowd of policemen ran down the walkway next to the payphone, and beyond that floor, a loud commotion could be heard.
さすがだな。時間ぴったり。じゃ、平沼陽子さん、良い旅。
Damn, who the fuck is this smooth motherfucker? Hey, it's no one we would know. It really sounds like Irie. Am I tripping? I know it's a completely different voice, but something about it sounds like Irie. It's kind of creepy. Anyways, guys, that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time on some more Higurashi. Peace, peace. Peace be with you, brother.